analog for the myth of Atlantis. They were just in the sky rather than in the ocean. They were this mighty civilization that had everything while the rest of the world was nothing, and their own arrogance caused them to be destroyed and lost to civilization. But let's see, what was it that about Chrono Trigger that impressed you the most as far as just in general?
Walking up to the little, as Frog. Oh yeah, I remembered some other Woolseyisms. There's a few of them in that game. Like he says, just the way I said Magus earlier. Damn, I just had it. Frog, Glenn speaks in Elizabethan English. That was just a fun little touch that he did, even though there's no basis for whatever. It was just him having fun. And the Masamune, it's a broadsword. Masamune. I don't know why they did that. I guess it was just a little fun thing they had because the real name of the sword is the Grand Leon and stuff like that is the new translation because it doesn't. I guess it was just one of those when you first played like Final Fantasy II, you saw like the Murasame, the Masamune, various other swords and stuff like that. Yeah. But it just didn't seem to make sense. Masamune, yes, sorry. But the thing is, you walk up to a little boy and he just says ellipsis. It's like squall before squall. And then you touch his little cat and he says, don't bother, Alphador only likes me. And then he jumps up and meows and that's awesome.
Could you have described that in any more creepy fashion?
Yeah.
I walked up to the little boy and I touched his little cat.
I'm trying to tell a story about a cute cat and you ruined it.
It sounds like you're trying to
tell a bane. You're the bane of my existence.
Priesthood.
You're the bane of my existence.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. But I think, go on. Yeah.
All right, I gotta say, the thing that surprised me most about Chrono Trigger, amongst all the other things, was the fact that you could do combo attacks. Mm-hmm. That was incredible. Now, I hadn't played a lot of the other older RPGs before at Chrono Trigger. Yes, X-Strike.
Yes.
The most classic combo. But when I found out you could do that, I'm like, what the heck is X-Strike? And then I did it, and I'm like, 2 characters attacked at once? Oh my god, that's amazing! And then I found out, and I didn't have the internet back when I played it, so I didn't know how you can get all the other combos, and I kept finding out more on my own. Every time I did, I felt like, oh my god, that's awesome, we're going to use this from now on. Yeah. And that lasted maybe an hour, until I switched back to other people.
Yeah.
All right, so...
I just realized something. I think it was Woolsey ultimately having fun, but I'm sure he was trying to, even though the whole 1,000 years doesn't quite, Gardia being in 1,000, the present day doesn't quite gel, but I'm sure he considered that when he wanted to make Frog speech the way he did, because the Chancellor also does it also. He says the phrase, it's time you shuffled off this mortal coil. And when I first read that, I'm like, what does that mean? And then it made me want to look it up. So it was just him having fun, but I think he meant to reflect it on literally the Middle Ages. Even though there are characters who don't talk like that. Oh, I remembered another one. The way they discuss Magus's generals. They're strong, one's a cross-dresser, but the most important stuff is that they're tone deaf. He actually says, he's like, they're bitter, tone-deaf, evil fiends, or something like that. Nice touch, tone-deaf. That's awful.
I thought the best part about them was they were clueless goons.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'll ask the same question of Chrono Trigger that I did of Final Fantasy VI, everyone's favorite character. Well, let's get him out of the way, you know your side. Who liked Chrono the best? Anyone? Okay. Yeah, pretty much. I can't have spiky hair like that. Not back then, and especially not now. What about, Magus? Anyone? Magus?
Oh,
all right. All right, Marl? Luca? Frog? Isla? Robo?
I like them all in some ways, but Magus is definitely my favorite. I think the one was Marl was probably the worst character, I think.
What made you think that?
I don't know. I guess she didn't have much in the way of attack magic. Her weapons weren't all that strong. Even when you gave her tons and tons of tabs, she wasn't particularly speedy, which did end up mattering.
But you got to nail that at the end of the game.
Yeah. The only real time she was helpful was when you had to. If you didn't take Magus, during that dungeon where you had to keep... And actually, you could use Frog's magic, too, to weaken that, to make it so that you could lower the defense of the Zombor when you were trying to restore the forest, Yeah, that boss was annoying, but, Magus was there to save the day like he always is. Now we have a winning team, whenever Yeah. It is a good spell, it's true, but
Is that thing on?
I never ended up finishing the game, but I was told that it was a lot of connotation to the story of Jesus.
Yeah, I heard that in game theory.
A little bit. There's a lot of Jesus references. I have one question for you, though, before you're done. When you say you never finished it, do you mean you never beat the game initially, or you never, like, got all the endings and, like, fully got through it?
I stopped after you killed the massive insect thing the first time.
The final boss, Lavos?
Yeah.
Oh, so you beat the game normally, but you didn't do New Game Plus? Is that? Or did you just beat the first one with Lavos?
Well, you jump into the future, I believe.
Right after you beat Lavos, you're in the future and everything is dead.
I think he means the dragon tank. Like when you first go to your 2300. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fairly early in the game. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
But it was a shock, which is, you learn about the corruption of the Gardia royal family pretty quickly, but jumping to the, it's a pretty dark future. It's one of those things that it doesn't quite hold up past muster when it comes to them just praising them, for wanting to help the world 1,300 years in the future, but it's one of the few plot moments when you really think about it, doesn't really add up.
All right, you on the end? I talked about you.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That just reminded me. A line that really stayed with me was when you first go to the future, like the heal pods, like
Oh, yeah.
you get heals,
Yeah.
you're still hungry.
Yeah,
It stayed with me for like a while.
It's less is more, and that's why, the dream team, as I'm going to honor them when I can, when appropriately, but, some people don't like Toriyama, and say what you will about Yuji Horii, I'm not a huge fan of the Dragon Quest series, but they came together and they had quite a powerful triumvirate going on.
Before I'll get you in just 1 second. I just want to build on something he said. The first time I played Chrono Trigger, I kind of knew that feeling because within the last couple of years, I'd been in the hospital with appendicitis, and because of that, I couldn't eat for 2 days. And I was getting all the fluids and stuff like that, but so I wasn't in any danger of dying or anything like that. But I was just so hungry and uncomfortable. It was horrible. So when the pod went off, I that's what it said. I kind of was like, oh my god, I kind of know how that feels. Not nearly in that kind of a dystopian way, but even just a small impression of it. You wanted to say something?
Just one of the most memorable things for me about that game is the idea that, yeah, you have a silent protagonist, but you can finish the game without him. Like, I love the idea that one of the paths in that game is that you're just like, oh, he died, and you just keep playing the game anyway. I don't know why, but that was so unique to have a main character just gone, and you just, like, the game went on like nothing happened, you know what I mean? I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Well, yeah. I mean, I figured you could get him back when I first played it because they kind of alluded to that. They're like, oh no, this isn't over, and this, that, and the other thing. But yeah, that was definitely a surprising moment because back then having a main character like that die was very rare. Not today. Where main characters kind of switch and die off. Like you change your socks.
He didn't just die, he disintegrated. And they captured it in 16-bit glory.
His sprites are melting away.
Yeah.
The pixels.
God, that still sticks with me.
I think for me, my favorite thing about Chrono Trigger was that even though you're dealing with the same world, it feels like you're in like 4 different games at the same time because you've got like the medieval time, you've got the future time, you've got the magical past time, and you have like prehistoric time, and it feels like you're playing like 4 different games, but you're not. And so it's a great game to have the New Game Plus feature because it doesn't get old.
Yeah,
so much replayability.
Exactly. It has, they're similar enough that they have continuity, but they're different enough that they're each fresh. It's not just like going back to something, this is slightly different. This person's hair color is different. Oh, such and such. Oh, they're their father or their daughter or granddaughter, some sort like that. But yeah, I definitely love that about that. Each era felt so distinct, but not completely alien.
And from a cathartic point of view, Yakra was so annoying, killing him in 1 hit. Awesome.
All right, someone had their hand raised over here first. Yeah.
Probably the most poignant thing about Chrono dying was that in any other game it had never happened before. My first playthrough, I had no background information, anything to it because I was so young. And when he dies, it left me just kind of flailing through the game and just with this really bizarre feeling like, what do I do now?
Yeah, you, flailing, you mean you didn't know where to go, you didn't know what to do, you just kind of ran around and fought and leveled up for
There was
just for
almost
sake.
like no context on where to go or what to do initially, and it just leaves you with this totally lost feeling that was really new for a game to do that to someone.
Yeah, so the game really got it, got what it was trying to do across to you in that case, and it was really powerful, yeah. I can't say that it affected me that much, but yeah, that's definitely a testament to how amazing the game is. Someone up front had their hand up?
Just a sec. Based on what you said, I understand it because, even though it was mostly plot-wise, I think they conveyed it well. Like he was good at conveying emotions even though he never talked. When he descends down, he just kind of, all he really does is move his eyes around and Marl hugs him, but it still speaks volumes, about kind of articulating what I think the point was. It didn't feel like the game was incomplete without him. It seemed like it was your duty to restore him.